would you please join me in reciting? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, one and all. What's happening? What is that gonna be on the thing?
No, I think Paula, you want to explain your role today?
I'm Miss Witt Junior. I'm sorry. My role, I'll be sitting in for Miss Witt just to do the voting.
Of where we started at and where we are at this point. We then took a tour of Shaw High School. We took her to some classes. She went into an English language arts class. She went into a math class. She went to see all of our CTE programs. Then we headed over to Kirk. She toured the building there, saw the wonderful things there, went into classrooms as well. We spent about 10 or 15 minutes into each class, so she was able to see a good chunk of the instruction that was being delivered in the buildings. We then came back to the high school where we had a staff panel where she met with staff. We had moderators. Mr. Bunkley was the moderator where we had conversations on how we got to where we are. The teachers were able to give their perspective of the work that was done, the hard work that was done in order for us to receive 3 stars. We then had a student panel where the students talked about the work that was done, where their successes, and even where some of their failures were at, and additional support that they needed as students in order to progress, and also what they needed in order to keep this momentum up. It was a time of celebration. She wasn't here to belittle us. She came because she saw our preliminary data and she wanted to know firsthand, what did you guys do in order to reach the success that you have this year? She ended the meeting with, what can I take back to the state? What can I tell them about what you all need in order to continue this momentum? So the staff and the students gave their thoughts about what they needed. One of the biggest ones was, don't cut the funding. And she was like, well, I don't deal with that. But overall, she was very pleased about the work that was done. Tom was going to unpack that with, as a district, we ended up with 3 stars, but progress, we had 4 stars. And again, he's going to go over that. So we are doing great and we're going to keep this momentum up. And she was very, very pleased when she left. Someone asked her a question and she was like, East Cleveland has really treated me well. And she said that she will be returning with the team of her peers to come see us again. So it was a successful visit. I left Friday, felt very good.
Oh, good, good.
and I debriefed with her after all of that. And we have met the requirements to exit ABC.
Mhm.
Now the next step becomes the data submission, so they're gonna send us something, because we gotta scrub the data, meaning taking the student names off of the data, because they can't look at student names. So we have to use the student ID numbers. But we're there, and that 3 solidified the fact that we need to be at academic distress, considering that of the 3 districts in academic distress, even when I'm including Lorraine, we score higher than everybody else. And that speaks volumes to what the staff has done. So we're eagerly waiting for her to do this kind of perfunctory process of submitting the data, but we already know where we are. So in December or earlier, we'll be celebrating finally
Yeah.
getting out of academic distress, and we will be the first district to do it academically. And that's gonna be such a
Major.
major.
December 1st, that's what I was,
The
that was
first
the date
week.
I was given.
Yeah, the first week, yep.
And I meant to be here. I got confused with the date,
Hmm.
and I normally don't do that.
Tom, what do you have for us? Just because we're still in the MGT conversation,
Correct.
and we need to talk about their relationship to this work.
Yes. Doing a couple things here, but direct our attention
It's over here,
to
yeah.
this screen.
And I need to talk to you about those, your, what, your PowerPoint, because there were like 4 of your last one, 4 of the PowerPoint presentations that I wanted. I couldn't get them out any kind of way, no way.
So we
We can
gotta
help
get
with that.
those. Yeah,
That's
we-
fine.
We can help with that.
Please.
That's an easy one. Okay.
Okay,
So if you'll allow me, and good evening, board members, thank you.
Good evening.
So our academic improvement discussion and what we're going to be looking at, we'll dive into these different sections of the report card. I don't really want to belabor any of these points, but please, if you have questions along the way, I would encourage you to ask and we'll move forward. A lot of this are screenshotted information that's coming from the Ohio Department of Education website.
Yeah.
So we're taking something that's dynamic and, intending it to
Sure.
be here, but it's our 3-star overall rating, 2 in achievement, 4 in progress, 3 in gap closing, 1 in graduation, 1 in early literacy, and 3 in the college career workforce and military readiness metric. This is the first year that the CCWMR metric is coming on. This used to be prepared for success. Okay, as it was being restructured by the state, they took it off of the calculation. It's now back into the calculation now.
One second, Tom, go back.
Mhm.
3 means we meet state standards.
Correct.
It's a very important designation that we no longer are in a support system and we need all this extra help to do what we need to do. According to the state, we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing for our students.
I think it's helpful for us to begin by looking at where we were as a bit of a comparison. The state of Ohio implemented this STARS system for an at-a-glance kind of viewing. It's meant to connect more with families and connect more with community members, but we like the numbers behind this because that's how we can disaggregate and make better instructional decisions about how we're going to continue to move forward. Hopefully this graphic shows that we went up everywhere with the exception of graduation rate and standing pat at early literacy at this point.
Quick question.
Yes, Ms. Hunt?
The graduation star, could that be more directed to maybe the size of the class of that
No.
year? Or
No, it has absolutely to do with not graduating students.
Talk about what happened to that class.
Yes, so one of the issues that our district faces is high mobility rate. It means that students that start with us don't necessarily end the school year with us. It's a churn figure. So when we start looking at graduation rates, we're looking at a list of students who become our responsibility starting on the first day of their 9th grade year, or the first day that they set step into Shaw High School as a high school student. So that means that if I have a student that drops out halfway through their 9th grade year, I own the responsibility for that student until actually the end of their 5-year progression, not the end of their 4-year progression. Shaw High School, so that's one.
And when we start looking at these numbers, because of our mobility and our churn rate, oftentimes 100% is not a realistic value to be able to aim for graduation rate. The other question with this is grad rate lags 1 year. So this red star that you see is actually representative of the students that walked the stage, not in May 25, but in May 24.
Right.
And the reason for that is graduation rate takes into account the possibility for summer graduates. So the data collection period that the state uses to calculate grad rate isn't even closed yet for this May 25 year. But by state law, they have to report on all other metrics of the state report card by September 15th. So it's a little bit misleading,
Yeah.
okay? But we've learned to live with it. The
Now,
plus
What's the number? What was the grad rate for this one?
78 and
Okay.
change.
And because this lags a year, our rough number for the next report card is what?
We're in the upper 80s right now.
So we're seeing an increase from this report card
Yes,
already for next report card.
Mhm.
It may be a 2-star, it may, but we see an increase of somewhere to 8%, coming off of this.
yes. And I'll have specifics on grad rate towards the end of the presentation with numbers that are there. I just wanted to start with a high level piece here.
And you'll talk early literacy a little bit too.
Yes, that's also addressed here. Okay, so when we talked last year and went through the report card, we talked about performance index score as the most important metric for us. That performance index, the maximum, that value 109.8, that changes from year to year. In the old days, it used to be the same, set at 120. Some changes in state law said, we don't think that's fair, so it became an average of like the 10 highest scoring
Right.
districts in the state of Ohio. So in order for us to be consistent about our measurement of success from year to year, we look at performance index score. And that's part of our language that we talk through with instructors. We say, when we are looking at how students are doing, we aggregate that into performance index score.
Question time.
Yes,
Has this slide deck been shared with the board members?
Yes, it has. I'm
So
sure
it's
just
in your
before the
inbox.
meeting. So we can go back to reference. You've got copies of
You
it
have
from
a
there.
copy.
Don't forget, Dr. I'll get you everything else you need. So this shows our hard work over the last, 3-4 years through our revitalization plan. 7.6 is our performance index gain, and that is the second highest positive increase in the state. If that sounds like I'm saying the same thing as last year, it's only because we did do it again. This is the second consecutive year that East Cleveland City Schools has earned the second highest increase in performance index score in the state of Ohio.
This is the graph why Colleen Grady wanted to come to East Cleveland, because nobody's doing this. Only East Cleveland is doing this, and she needs to go back to Columbus and explain why are we the only ones seeing these gains.
This was a good year for testing across the state of Ohio compared to last year. Most school districts were up. The average change was about 1.1, positive 1.1. Last year it was negative 0.1. So sometimes you get a good year, sometimes you get a bad year. And that happens with school districts. They have a tendency to plateau out. We can't afford to do that, and we can't afford to be in that position where we are. So I believe Director Grady's line was, this is significant positive growth. This isn't an aberration. This isn't a one-off. This is what are you guys doing? We need to figure this out. And it sums it up quite clearly in this graphic.
This is the graphic. That shows what we've been working on since COVID.
Indeed. So this gives us just a little bit more deep dive when you say, well, where did these numbers come from and how did you get there? Like, how did the math work out for it? We did two things that we said we were going to do. We would reduce the percentage of students that were untested. It was primarily an issue at the high school, and we took that back to practically zero. We're only 0.5% of tests, 7 tests, excuse me, it's not students,
7
tests. So whereas in 2024, we had 52 tests that were untaken, this past year, we only had 7 that were untaken.
Yep.
That's ODE tells every district, if you want to improve PI, you start with the basics, you do the little things like that.
Correct.
We accomplished that. The second piece is that we reduced the number of students that were at limited and moved them to a higher category. I can't tell you exactly which category that they moved to, primarily moving into basic, but some that went basic all the way into proficient. But to see a 9.7% reduction in the percentage of tests that scored at limited is huge. And we can attribute that in large part to focusing on writing. Our writing scores were very, very good. For the middle school, 6, 7, and 8, particularly in 8th grade, when we disaggregate down our ELA scores, the writing sub-score was basically in line with state standards.
Yeah, okay.
And I was floored, I was impressed, because it was something that we had worked on with Writing Revolution, the PD had been there, but the work went in and we saw the results.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. And we also saw a couple of nice gains in early numeracy as well. Our 3rd grade math scores were good this past year. We had some instructors who really got after it, and that was nice to see. So this is just a little bit more about how we got to that positive change. Here's your grade level by grade level breakdowns. ELA 3 saw a big positive change, plus almost 20 in net change. ELA 8, again, I'm going to credit that to increases in the writing scores. Our students are writing more and they're writing more proficiently, and that's a good thing. Let me jump ahead to look at math. Again, that 3rd grade math score,
All
plus
positive.
20. Yes. The math score for 7th grade at plus 11, change of instructor for this year, to go from basically 0 to that. It's a nice one. I'll take every plus and gain that I can get. And the science 5 and the science 8, what I will also credit those increases in science scores to is increases in work around literacy.
Yeah.
The science tests are vocabulary tests, they're reading tests. And there's not much math to them by the time they're getting into these state assessments. It's reading and interpreting graphs. But our work through the science of reading, our work with our literacy coaches, our work with our urban literacy specialist, Jody Snyder's at Caledonia and at Shaw, that's where these numbers are coming from. That's the emphasis. We say, what did you do? This is what we focused on and what we did. And here are your high school scores and high school values. Looks like I'm gonna misprint for Algebra 1, but American government, American history, biology, I think I transposed a set of numbers there.
I think so.
I think I did. I'll need to go back and double check that, but you all have the share version for it, so I'll double check and make any edits and go from there. And you'll
But
see
the point is,
version
all
reads.
positive net changes, we went up across the board.
Yes. So this is the progress component. This is 4 stars. I don't want to get into the math behind it because it's way too nerdy and not worth it. What is important to take from the progress metric with this at 4 stars is to say the progress metric is a measurement of confidence in students meeting and exceeding their anticipated growth for a year over multiple years. It means that if a student in 5th grade has exceeded their growth, we were confident in that value from 4th grade and then confident in that value back into their 3rd grade year. You can't start measuring growth until you get into 4th grade, okay? That's why you see the table begins with 4th grade there. But this is an expression of confidence, and this is another expression of seeing that that line graph that just said, hey, your PI values are just going up.
Right.
When PI goes up, progress goes up. One follows the other. Gap closing measures. I'm very proud again of the testing participation rate at 99.2 and that we earned 35.1% out of 13 out of a possible 37 points. This gets into your, into your subgroups, okay, which I'll show in this in some of these next graphics. But we're looking at things like English language arts and math in terms of their achievement and their growth metrics. Graduation is here, performance of English language learners, gifted performance index is here, and I flagged chronic absenteeism, that we earned 5 points out of 5 available here. That doesn't do the work justice. Our chronic absenteeism rate as a district dropped by over 10% this past year. It's still really high for an
Yeah.
urban district,
Sure.
but please let me note that the typical average or the expected goal for a district is to reduce their chronic absenteeism by 1.1%. We reduced it by over 10%.
10.4.
Which means we also have an increase in just overall attendance. Our overall attendance rate climbed over 4% this past year. Students are coming to school. It's an indication that they're engaged, that they feel safe, they feel appreciated, that they like the service that we are providing to them at this point. There's the values for chronic absenteeism, 53.2% of students chronically absent. That's still a ridiculously large number. Remember, chronic absenteeism is a student that's going to be present less than 90% of the time. In the working world, we mean that you took off more than one day in a 2-week time span. But that's a huge trend line. That's absolutely huge. That integrates all the work that we've done with Harvard Proving Ground, with doing attendance committees, HB 410 work,
Terrence
like
Roscoe.
triple A.
Yes.
This
is
Terrence Roscoe. He's a beast. The detective, the dog. Like, Roscoe, I need you to go find this guy. I knocked on 15 doors a day deep. Yes, sir, you did. And he finds the people. He really does. So this is in large part his work. And he built processes to get committees together to help him with this.
He's not doing the work alone.
No. These are your subgroup pieces. Please understand that the district, in terms of gap closing, is not just looking at all students, but we do look at English language learners. That's a growing population in this district. When I came here 11 years ago, it was a negligible value. Okay. Currently, that value sits at about 3.5%. Okay. So it's a changing face of the students and the families that are being serviced here in East Cleveland. So we're measured for it. Economically disadvantaged, Black African American, and all students, those values are all exactly the same. Okay. This is one of the inequities of the report card, because if you get one, you get all three. But if you miss one, you miss all three. Okay. It's the state's attempt to be able to say, look at your subgroups at these pieces. Students with disabilities is also an identified subgroup here. But just flagging this so you have it.
Yeah.
And again, this is another measurement on the growth metric. And it all stems back to students were successful on the spring state assessments. That's where they derive all of this math from, everything that's coming from here. Grad rate, again, this one shows back to being lagging at this point, because it's looking at that 4-year graduation rate, or that combined of 4 and 5 years. So just take that as a note as we're going through. We'll dive a little more in. And here's the graduation component itself. So again, the 4-year grad rate is representative of students who walked the stage in May 2024. That 5-year grad rate is representative of students in May 2023. Those are weighted figures. So you gotta focus on your 4-year, but you can't forget about your 5-year.
Right.
The problem is, if you got hit on a 4-year graduation, it's gonna hang around your neck for another year.
Yeah.
So we're trying to mitigate that number right now, that 78.2%, by saying, who can we clear off the books? And then we're also saying, okay, we had a really good graduation class here in May of 2025. That's wonderful. Okay. How can we make sure that we balance the two of those pieces? That was what Henry had kind of marked and mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. Again, this breaks down values about how many students that we're looking at. Ms. Fountain, here's to your exact question about your numerator and your denominator here, about how many students were in that cohort. Again, we are responsible for the student from the time that they step foot into 9th grade or the high school. The only way to get those students off your cohort is A, they enroll someplace else and attend for at least one day.
Okay. One day.
Or B, they move out of state.
Yep.
So if I can find out that you stopped over for a hot minute in Dover, Delaware, and you thought about going to high school for more than a week, and I can prove it, I'm gonna say you were withdrawn out of state. That's the way that we get Wasco and Ian Cooper, our EMIS coordinator. These are the conversations that we have about chasing folks down.
Yeah, you gotta chase that.
Yep, 100%.
Because these numbers don't reflect the kids who are not in the building. There are a group of kids each year that left after 9th grade, and they still are on your books until 12th grade. Unless you can say you did the legwork and you found out where they went.
Okay.
And a lot of them, they're not in the system. We got to call all the people that we can find in your emergency contacts. And really, Roscoe is really doing detective work, talking to people, friends, and trying to figure out where are these kids, because we have to give an account for this person to get them off our books. And that's where you're going to start seeing these numbers creep up because of the work that he's been doing, at least for the last year or two.
We search social media, we comb
Yep.
through absolutely everything. If your house looks like it's abandoned, when Roscoe goes up and does a visit, he goes and knocks on 2 more doors. Whoever's to the left and whoever's to the right, hey, how long they not been here? You know where they moved to, blah, blah, blah. You got a number for anybody?
Okay.
That's the kind of work that we're going after to find in these circumstances.
Yeah.
So it's not just an idle, oh, we
It's
checked.
every day.
It
It's
is.
literally every day.
Our early literacy component is comprised of 3 items: a promotion to 4th grade, an improving K-3 literacy metric, and a proficiency in 3rd grade reading. Without going too into the weeds with this, improving K-3 literacy, the bottom line, is really about how students are progressing from K to 1, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3. Those students are taking NWEA MAP fluency assessments in the fall, and we're trying to figure out, are they on track? Are they off track? And then did they move from off to on, or did they stay at off, or did they stay at on? So all the money for K through 2 is really made in those first couple of weeks of school, because it's all measured based off of your September assessment. The rest of the time, 100% is spent, okay, how are we going to prep for the assessment next school year? Promotion to 4th grade is exactly what it sounds like. And proficiency in 3rd grade reading, those 3rd grade readers have the opportunity to take the state assessment twice. They take it once in the fall, right around Halloween time, so we're ramping up for that. And then they take the assessment again in the spring. We need them to pass one of those attempts in order to do this. So we know this is an area where we need some work. We know that this is our foundation. We know that without this, it makes kind of everything else a little more difficult. But
Because the early literacy and graduation are related because of the transients.
Mhm.
Because when I'm looking at improving K-3 literacy, that means you take an assessment in kindergarten, and then the other half of that assessment doesn't happen until 1st grade. What happened if you leave? What happened if your mama decide to move? We get negatively impacted because we don't have the A and the B to the conversation. So where you see a 20%, 20.9, that some of that is there's some kids that took the test of the A, but they weren't here for the B. And we get negatively impacted. So it's just like graduation rate. Unless you're not here for the whole thing, then the state does not count you, and it counts against the district.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's what we're grappling with this transiency on both ends, whether it's the early side or it's the graduation. It's about your attendance if you're here.
100%. To put some numbers to it, Caledonia has about 240 students that are in grades K through 2 right now. It's a ballpark value. If we peeled all of this information back and just looked at the K1-2 metric, we'd be looking at less than half of that. Okay, those babies churn in and out of here on a pretty regular.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
100%. And in the old days of, well, I had an IEP and I could be excused or this or that, I know typically it's not a sound practice to be identifying students with an IEP at grades kindergarten, 1st or 2nd, even if it's for a more severe disability indication. No, everyone tests, period. That is our governor's claim of, we need to make sure that everyone is reading by 3rd grade, even if we know that this child is not going to be physically able to by the time they get to the 12th grade.
Question.
You said the test is in October, and then what's the second part?
For 3rd graders, they test with everyone again in the spring. So our testing window has those, I believe we're testing early April, right after spring break, right?
That's the 3rd grade, and for K through 2, it's the MAP test.
It is math
That's
fluency.
in September.
Yes, sir.
till September is the way we measure it.
So this is the one that I like. This one's kind of fun. Our overall rating is set as 3 stars. And 3 stars are nice, and we can stand behind that one, and we absolutely should. But 3 stars also means points, because each of these different areas, achievement, graduation, and gap closing, carries a different weight to it. And that weight contributes into an overall rating that the state gives you a evaluation on. This is truly how we can compare ourselves to other districts in terms of our progress. We can look at that performance index score, and we can now look at this overall point rating as well. So I want you to keep that value of 2.156 in mind. Because last year when we talked about this, we looked at similar districts geographically to ourselves. We said, how are our neighboring school districts doing in terms of, well, we looked at performance index. This year we're going to look at stars, because our work is more than just tests. Our work is growth, our work is graduation, our work is K-3 literacy. And we see that we're in the middle of the pack at 3 stars. But I would like to note what districts that we have leapfrogged in terms of our star rating. And I will also highlight what school districts that we're sitting elbow to elbow with in terms of our overall star rating. The East Cleveland City School District is performing at the exact same level as Bedford City Schools right now. And we are a stone's throw within Maple Heights, Garfield, and Richmond.
All of them, the whole list. We're very competitive right now.
Yes. So that's not to say that we're going to sit on our laurels. We're going to stand behind what Connie says in teaching and learning. We have momentum. We are going to keep momentum for this school year.
Great.
But to me, in a year where everyone's test scores look good, to say that we have jumped over the little brother down the street, Cleveland, and kept in line with our other first-ring neighbors here in Cuyahoga County.
Cleveland a little bit.
Because that's our running joke with Cleveland. That they're the little brother down the street, 33,000 students, they're the little brother down the street. It's all good.
Talk about this slide that you showing districts in Cuyahoga County. But what is these overall ratings, what does that look like at the state level?
539.
Okay.
There are 608 public school districts in the state of Ohio. Okay, so that doesn't include your charter schools, doesn't include your dropout recovery schools. It's your brick and mortar traditional public school districts. Last year, when we looked at our overall rating score of that 608, we were 599th.
Okay.
This year, we are 539.
62 spots?
Yeah. Or 537, maybe it's 537. Yeah, that's 62, that's 537.
62
So we are the 537th ranked school district in the state of Ohio. Our goal in 5 years, by the year 2030, is to have a performance index at 82.9, which means 60% of our students will graduate and earn scores on the OSTs of proficient or higher. That would put us solidly in the top half into the top third of school districts in the state of Ohio.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yes.
But for right now to move from 599 to 537, a 62-point jump,
Yes.
to say that we are not an academic distress commission district. We are a successful urban school district. We are the model urban school district, and our numbers show it. That's the last slide in this presentation. I'm happy to entertain any questions. Otherwise, I appreciate it.
Question,
Sir, yes, sir.
how does this align with the MGT stepping in to assist us?
What did they do?
What did MGT do?
Everything.
What a delightful correlation question. MGT offered support with transformation specialists and with coaching folks into the classrooms. That was a huge portion for this. MGT brought energy to our systems. They brought a renewed focus in terms of oversight and execution. So the expertise and the additional personnel to be able to support teachers and administrators alike, to be able to move that 62 spots.
Okay.
That's important. Can I winnow it out any more than that? Probably not. But their support is, it needs to be noted in terms of this. We did a lot of things. The story from the Cleveland Plain Dealer, Laura Hancock's story, that said we implemented something like 10 to 12 strategies. You see through this that this is not just a single effort of a single organization. We expanded teaching and learning. We put no vacancies into any of our classrooms. We fill our classified positions. We spend dollars responsibly, okay? We put in appropriate programs that benefit students, and if they don't work, we cut them or we ask why. What is it that you can make changes with these things? So there's no silver bullet, Mr. Robinson. But I think to say that we made progress despite them or in spite of them would not be accurate.
So they were a significant help in moving.
Yes. I don't like the word significant. Too much time in a quantitative data set to tell you, because I can't say that, but was there assistance? Absolutely. I mean, they helped us see through the
This is a
end.
major jump.
Absolutely,
Major.
Yes.
absolutely. Please, ma'am.
So my main concern
Mhm.
Here you go.
is, like she said, was it a significant, were they significant? We do know they were, but my concern is when they're gone,
Mhm.
would this district be able to sustain the progress that we made, or will we slip back to where we were before they came? That's a concern for me, like, are we solely dependent on MGT?
I got it.
Or
Yeah, I hear that
will we
concern.
be able to sustain with our
Yeah.
staff, the teachers, students, everybody, with all the numbers and charts and
Yep,
graphs?
yep.
When they're gone and there's no more overseeing and giving you directions or, giving feedback, will this district be able to sustain without MGT?
Yes, after the 2-year scope of work, absolutely, and that's what we're prepping for. We're prepping for outside of this year, going into next year, we gotta do it our own. We can't keep doing that kind of support, but we needed that support to push us over. I thought we were gonna get 3 or 4, we got 7 performance index points. I thought we were still, Dr. Rice, we were talking about 2 points. And she was giving it to me about, it looked like we were only gonna be 2 points.
Oh, Lord
Right,
Jesus.
But
yes.
the MGT component pushed us over to where we are right now, to where, we sitting here looking like this, like with 3 stars with the babies, and we on the cover of the Plain Dealer on Sunday and
Cleveland.com?
Cleveland.com, we in there. I did 107.9, 93.1, a press run. We are the darling of the state right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But MGT is in there with us. Now, I can't say, I'm not gonna give them the lion's share because I think our folks did a lot of work.
Oh, definitely.
I can show, there's some spreadsheets, there's some ways that they had us thinking about things that forced us into where we are right now, right? I don't like spending a whole lot of money. And last year was 1.7, and then we got rid of the college and career readiness because we have a plan for that. Last year, part of the 1.7 was there was a piece with college and career readiness. We have a plan. I meet every single week with Larry Ellis and Dakota Williams, and we walking, and kind of you in that too, and we're walking through what they left us. They left us the plan, we're executing it. Also, we had the facility plan. We're executing that with Dennis and Virgil and that whole piece. And then what's left is this student or school transformation piece. That's the 1.2 or 1 point, something like that. That's the piece where they have real people coming in, they're coaching our principals, they're doing walkthroughs, they're having conversations with our teachers. Our teachers love this stuff, and it's helping them take it to that next level. So this is a time-limited conversation. This is the last year for this, but it is critical. I'm scared that if we don't have it, can we sustain our 3? We cannot drop back into the 2. We saw what happened. But we're building that. They're part of the building of it. We know that they're a temporary fix, and then we have to do the work next year. And that's where Connie is in place, and she's doing some things with her folks to get in, so when we don't have them. The other piece I wanna let you know is, because we were in school improvement, because we were in a deficit, we had something called the state support team. It's 5 or 6 folks that come around here, they helping us, but now that we have a 3, they go away. So we're losing some of that support because we're doing well enough that they're gonna send that to a school that is not doing well. So that's another reason why we need to maintain that this year. And then after this year, we have to do it ourselves. They're not gonna be with us when they get to 82. That's on us. And we have to show that as we're shrinking, as we're consolidating, we still have to maintain this level of performance. And what I just heard was graduation rate is gonna be up next year. We need to maintain progress, maintain gap closing, and we're doing things right now for that college and career readiness to keep us up. But if this goes away, if the MGT goes away, then we have to try to strategize how to maintain. And that becomes a struggle for the staff.
Okay, so
yeah.
that was one of my questions, okay. So I sent some questions,
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys
yeah, I
got
have them. Yeah, let me pull them up.
certain, some of them was really for treasurer.
Yeah, and you know, yeah,
I
but
don't know how to get around those questions, cause those are the bigger questions.
yeah, and we can definitely have that conversation with her.
Because she knows the answer.
Yeah.
Well, she should know the answer. One of the questions is, what is the budget impact of renewal and potential rate of changes that they gave us?
Yes.
And what is the proposed budget for renewing and how will it affect the district's overall budget? That is really concerning for me. Considering what we got ahead, if anybody looked at the other charts that was in the financial committees, that we brought before, that everybody did receive to look at.
So let me answer
this is a
questions
concern.
you submitted. So the first question was, what is the budget impact of the renewal and the rate changes, and how will it affect the district's overall budget? It should not, because it's built into the 5-year forecast that the board has already approved. We already knew that this was gonna be something that we were gonna deal with this year. So there should not be a difference of the budget or no impact that you have not already seen. So to that question, and I'm not the treasurer, but I know what's in the 5-year forecast. This is already embedded in the 5-year forecast. You won't see any increases or any reductions or some kind of change to the budget because we were already anticipating this cost. Secondly, you asked, what is the superintendent process for handling renewals? The first thing is we determine whether or not that vendor, is it working? Do we have data to support that it is a prosperous relationship? And we do have that. We have 3 stars, we have performance index. We have results that we say, yes, this is working. So we're gonna keep moving. But typically I'm working with my zone leaders, Tom and Connie are here because they're related to the teaching and learning and the data. But we're talking, we were in a 2-3 hour meeting today, making sure that we're aligned. They're bringing in conversations from their departments. They go meet with their departments. We're talking about what we need, and we talk about how we work together to get that done. And we had 2 or 3 issues we were working through today, and then we were able to get action because everybody was working together. You also asked, is there a process for negotiating renewal? Not really. That in schools, that doesn't really happen where when you're negotiating, you go back to the table and try to get a different price or different, unless you're trying to reduce the services. But typically it's, for example, this contract actually is it goes through 2026. I put some things there for you to see. You can have that copy too. But it actually says that, so we're not even at the renewal part right now, because this is only a 2-year thing and then it's gone. We're not asking MGT to do anything beyond this year. But again, we think it's valid and it's valuable. Considering we're losing support from the state, we need to make sure that we protect our teachers in that instructional time and they don't lose some of the supports that they have and then spiral backwards. Another question you asked is, who are the key stakeholders involved? And really it's my cabinet. So you're talking about Tom, Paula, Courtney, Consuela, Dennis, Diana. We all get together and we have these conversations. And I'm at the business now and not really even making decisions unless we're having that conversation. We flesh out what the negatives are, what the weaknesses are. And honestly, sometime in these zone conversations, I don't get my way. They say kind of the way it needs to be, and they gang up on me, But that's the right way, because I have to let the people closest to the work inform me as to what's important. And we got a new curriculum director coming on, teacher and learning with Consuela, and she did a 3.5 at Kirk. Can I say that? She did a 3.5 at Kirk. Listen.
That's great.
So, and that energy is now being expressed across all your buildings. But I don't want to take away even MGT from helping her as she's moving into this role so that we can keep flying the way we need to be. But the stakeholders we try to include as many people as possible. We talk to the principals, teachers, it happens in the TBTs, the DLTs, these conversations. We're pulling information from those conversations, and the teachers are saying they like the support from MGT. They're saying they like that person they can talk to that person, and that person goes to the principal, and they can have kind of a conversation to resolve issues. That person in MGT is also working with that principal to open their eyes and show them at a national level what's happening at other places. So the ticket is high, but as a person, I'm the cheapest person I know. This is valuable for where we're trying to go. And don't forget, they helped us write the strategic plan, which is what we're moving on right now. So the strategic plan helped us get to where we are. And I would hope we don't deviate so we can keep going. Because in the plain dealer, I said, we need to get more stars. Dr. Rice said,
Yes.
she wanted more stars. When we had 2, I said, I don't know if I can get 3. We got 3. So now it's time to go, how do we get 4? It doesn't happen by taking the sugar out of the cake recipe.
That's right.
Right? So right now it tastes good and we can afford it and it's in the budget. But if we take it out, then any replacement may not give you the same good feeling that we have today. So that's my answers to your 4 questions.
There's 2 on that.
Oh, I only saw 4. What's the next one?
Oh, no, you answered it.
Okay, yeah. The last one was stakeholders, yeah. And also the stakeholders of the board. I mean, I've had conversations with MGT about the conversations we had, and hey, there's an accountability here. And had we not seen 3 stars and this huge 7-point jump in the performance index, my conversation would be different. But it works. And if it's working, I asked you this last time we met, how much would you pay for improvement, right? It's not cheap. It's not free. But we're at a place now where the state is considering we're the only district, where they're talking about getting rid of ADC. Youngstown did not meet their benchmarks. They didn't meet their 51%. And I got a call with their superintendent because he asking me, how did they do it? How did we do it? We are the darling of the
Honestly, I
state.
wanna keep the focus over here, I don't really care.
Stay with us. But I do, because I want to get you to understand that East Cleveland has been in last place for a really long time. So the fact that other people are asking us that's significant to the folks in this room, to the people on Zoom. They need to hear now, people are asking East Cleveland how to do it. That's really important. That's really important. Because for so long, they tried to tell us how to do it.
Right.
And they tried to push how to do it. And they took over this district trying to tell us how to do it. We're at a place now where the district and realize the board will get local control back. You do not have it right now. You will get it back when we finally get out of this academic mess. So all of this conversation is about MGT has helped us get to a place where since 2018, we've been ready to be. We fought to say we shouldn't have been in that mess in the first place, but now we're at a place where we can legitimately argue that we deserve to be out. And anybody else is not doing what we're doing. That's why Colleen Grady came to East Cleveland. She said, I gotta see what's going on because you're exceeding every expectation in this state. No one is, Tom, what is the average levels of growth this year? On this year's data?
Yeah, not particularly amazing. Like I said, plus 1.1.
And we plus 7.
Yeah.
There's the difference. I thought we were gonna plus 3 or 4. We plus 7. MGT is in there. Those were my comments.
Okay. Are there any other comments regarding MGT?
No, we wouldn't have questions.
Believe me. And any questions about Colleen Grady? The only thing I have is, I'm sorry that I missed it, cause
Yeah.
I meant to come,
Okay.
to that, somehow I got 29 in my head, I don't know.
Yeah.
Somehow I missed the
Our
19.
baby's wild, her. She
Good.
wasn't ready for the what East Cleveland is all about. She fell in love.
There's a committee that I belong to, that's Youngstown, Lorraine, and East Cleveland, and we meet once a month.
Mhm.
And, I shared with them about MGT, and I had told them that I know that we were going to go up, but
Mhm.
you surpassed even what I thought would happen,
Yes.
very sincerely. I thought that definitely we'd be two and a half, you know,
Mhm.
but nonetheless, something that we could argue for. 3, whoa, that was great. And, I remember, when MGT was first coming and I talked to a couple different people about MGT, and we found, you know, we talked about the good about it and talked about the bad, you know,
Mhm.
quite naturally. But I shared with them that I felt that they would be able to help in this district, but I had it surpassed even what I thought.
Yeah.
So, any other questions?
Well, I
Yes.
just wanna say, I'm pleased with the results, I'm pleased with the presentations you guys did, and I think we can move on.
Is it there, it's called MGT contract, is that some, I guess it's a vote today. Oh, it's on the agenda as a vote.
Okay, this,
So wait, I have one more.
go
thing.
ahead. I do.
So for the amount.
Mhm.
Just to reiterate that it is already in the budget. And
Yes.
it will not cause us any fiscal distress moving forward.
No, nope, not at all. And the Board of Education hires 2 experts. You're a financial expert as the treasurer, education expert as the superintendent. And we consult and we talk. And I don't bring anything that I haven't already talked to the treasurer about and making sure that we're 100% good. This is embedded in the 5-year forecast, so it is already there. So there's no, you won't see an uptick, you won't see increased amounts. It was already anticipated.
Even if like something bad goes wrong, like we really need money for something goes wrong, we will still be financially okay.
Again, we have a financial expert in the treasurer who is excellent at making sure we don't have those catastrophes. And as the educational leader, I ensure that we stay away from deficit spending and we stay away from those things that could be catastrophes. Absolutely, we are 1,000% on top of the budgets, realizing we're in a district that can't do a levy. We haven't had a levy in this district since 1992. So we understand that resources are scarce. We know that because of scenario 5, we're gonna do some reductions. There are gonna be some things coming up this spring. And going into next year, we do not anticipate us being in a bad situation, no.
That's the only thing that I'm really
Mhm.
concerned
Yeah.
about, because I pointed out the calendar to
Yeah,
you
you did.
and what have you. And if you say that is not going to,
Correct.
we are definitely not going to be deficit spending this year or next.
We already had a 5-year forecast, so
Yes.
you already have what this year looks like.
Right,
But moving forward,
but next
because
year,
I forget what year deficit spending kicks in, but historically, what we've done since 2019, since I've been here, is every time that we see a year where deficit spending is coming, we make the reductions, we do what we need to go away from that. So we're not in deficit spending. We've not been in deficit spending since I've been here because we've done that. Every time me and Diana sit down, and then we gotta talk to our HR director, and there's things that we have to do to make sure we stay under where we are. Absolutely.
okay? That takes care of it,
I appreciate this conversation.
definitely.
Good conversation.
Yes, good.
Positive.
You gotta read the resolution.
May I have, from the finance,
Actually,
committee?
it's the education committee. It's the education committee.
She's not here.
Who's that?
I am.
Okay.
Hold on.
Oh, we didn't do approval of the board agenda for today.
Oops.
An hour later.
Okay.
You want to discuss.
Well, obviously, we have by assent chosen to approve the agenda and we will continue, because we are at education now. That's a resolution to authorize a contract with and payment to MGT of American Consulting LLC.
But don't we still have to do C for the approval?
Of the board
Get the
agenda.
vote.
Okay, let
Yeah,
me
you
call,
need to vote.
let me
We
call
can.
for the vote.
Call for the vote.
Okay,
Mhm.
I need a motion first.
Madam President, I make a motion that we do C, which is the approval of the September 22nd, 2025 board agenda.
A second.
We have a motion on the table to approve the September 22nd, 2025 agenda that we are an hour into. And we have, it has been properly seconded, and thank each of you for that. Are there any additional discussions regarding the agenda?
No.
Hearing none, would you call for the vote?
Online voting is open.
Oh, fast.
You're gonna have to take my vote, I don't.
No problem, I'll put it in.
Call for the vote.
Okay. She's not.
Or can you call for any remaining votes?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right,
I'm calling for the
yes,
remaining votes. Okay, everybody's there.
Okay.
And I'm saving
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Online voting is closed. Motion
Motion.
passed.
motion passes,
Motion
thank you,
carries.
thank you very much.
Now it's the education.
Okay. I'm gonna have to read it from yours, mine is not up and it was up, now I have to go back in.
You need the resolution?
I have it, yes. The resolution to authorize the contract with and payment to MGT of American Consulting LLC. And I wanna make sure that I note the, amount that's $1,299,999.96. You should have put the first couple pennies in there.
No, we need them.
Okay. That is the, resolution that has, on the table for right now.
You made the motion?
And
I
you
need a
did.
motion.
I second it.
It's been properly moved in second that, we approve the MGT, contract for this school year.
Mhm.
For this one additional year.
Yes.
Okay, call for the vote. Open online voting is ready. Dr. Rice, what's your vote?
Yes.
Voting is closed. Motion passes.
Okay. Thank you. And the next thing
Welfare
on
and
the,
public
on
relations.
agenda is welfare and public relations, and I think that's where we're,
Who is that?
That is,
That's you, okay.
that's Mrs. Sanders.
Mhm.
Madam President,
Yes.
I make a motion for the resolution to engage for the Ohio Boards Association for Policy Management Services.
Okay.
I second it.
It's been properly moved in second that we, look for, to change from Pebble and Wagner to OSBA, for the, policies, et cetera. It's been properly moved in second discussion. And I have a lot of questions about this. But so I am concerned because we wanna go into this to save some money, am I right? Is that why we're going? Or
Yes.
we think we'll get better services? Which is it?
Both.
Vote.
Okay, you think you'll get better services? Uh-huh. And we're gonna save money?
Yes.
Okay, that's the only thing that I need explanation of. Can you, how is that? Because it seems like everything that they want, everything that we do, OSBA is gonna have an additional charge. Is there anybody that can
Is
help
it
us with that?
OSBA? It's not OSBA, it's Pebble and Wagner's that have the additional charges for everything. But this 12,250 is flat fee for
Yes, it's a
OS
flat fee, and having a discussion with with the committee, Diana has brought to our attention that, utilizing Pebble and Wagner for this situation is costing the district more money than if we went with OSBA.
Okay, when I looked at, the sheet that came for Pebble and Wagner, and just trying to understand that, that's 8,000? What is that for?
I don't have a document, I'm sorry.
That's the total cost from what they charge per hour or per minute or,
This is what they
For
billed us for
2024.
these years.
That was for the year
Yes,
24.
that's, yeah,
For 2023 and
23
2024.
Right.
So that's 8,000,
that's what it's come to so far, yes.
and that's for, beginning December of 2023
Mm-hmm.
to November of 2024, 1 year?
Yeah, that's about a year.
So that's 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
but they charge us 7,500 for what? That's for the manual for just to get
That's not,
started.
that's OSBA charging that for the manual.
This is OSBA?
So here's the thing.
Mhm.
The standard and policy premium services rewrite contract.
Mhm.
If we're asking them to rewrite all of our contract, that's 12,250. We're not asking them to do that.
No.
Next page, it says online policy services contract. We're trying to do this one, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it will be $19.50 a year and then a one-time conversion fee of $1,000. So where we're spending $8,000 on our current policies,
Mhm.
the alternative is to spend $2,000 a year with a $1,000 conversion.
Okay,
3,000.
but,
Yeah, there you go, 3,000.
okay, to do the online version, so therefore, we're not gonna buy this book for 7,500, that they're,
And,
the
and
most affordable option would be to purchase a copy of our current policy manual outright for 7,500.
And then that don't include the consultant.
right. But we already,
So we can't ask questions.
you already have policies that you pay for lawyers to create. So you don't need somebody to recreate what you already paid to make.
Mhm.
What we need is this online services that it becomes the stuff moving forward. Like things that are coming up moving forward, you are allowed, you're able to go online and when these policies, everybody's getting these policies from either Neola or OSBA, including our attorney. And then they do something to it and then tack on some prices and then we pay a premium for something that we probably could be looking at ourselves.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that I'm understanding.
And Paula and Mary, if I'm saying it wrong, I'm reading what I'm
You're saying
reading.
it right, cause a lot
Yeah.
of what you're seeing, like this document that she was talking about that was 8,000,
Yes,
is a lot of just, say we call them to review something that needs to be changed, that's what the attorneys was doing that time, cause for the most part, we haven't changed too
Right.
many of these policies, we made a couple of word changes and this, that, and the other to some of these
but this is
policies.
for rewrite.
Right,
Yeah, if you want them to take your whole book
exactly,
and walk through with a fine tooth comb and then make recommendations, that's the 7,500.
right.
No,
No, basically, I'm sorry, I said that wrong, I did say it wrong.
uh-huh,
Is 7,500 is just buy their policy
Yeah.
and adopt their policy.
right,
Right.
We're not going for that option, cause we already have policy.
okay.
So it's not that option.
20.
The next one is, do you want your current policy to be rewritten? No, they good and they legally stood the test. So that's not what we're asking for either, that's 12,250.
So that's what the consultant did, right?
We're asking for this online policy services where they're looking at just doing this transition and taking what we have and transitioning it to the model that they use. So that's a cheaper option, and that's more of what we need because we already have policies. If we, like, 2-3 years ago, we had those policies we didn't approve for years.
Yeah.
If that was our situation, then yes, we need to go get somebody to rewrite all our policies. Pepper and Wagner did that for us. So that's been done, so we don't need to ask somebody to do that again. This is really about
Maintain it.
the maintenance of our policies. And it says, if you look at this, it says, however, if you use board docs, this annual policy drops from 1950 to 1450 because you're using board docs. So we get a discount because we're using what you already use. So it's not even 2,000 or it's really not 3,000, it's what, 2,500 is the cost that I'm looking at here.
So-
Which is different than the 8,000.
I just wanna make sure I'm absolutely clear, so, what we have looked at on the first page, that is not in consideration at all.
Is that correct? Let me ask the
I
committee.
know, I know.
Am I right?
Yeah, that's what, as
And
we
so-
talked in our committee, that's what we talked about, because
Okay.
we looked at basically that $8,000 is what we're paying Pebble and Wagon to maintain, to do the maintenance on these documents that we already have.
Okay, and you're saying we don't need to do that because, we can go online and pull up current policies and be able to update anything that we need. Alright,
Yeah, we talked about it, and it's been based off of what Mr. Witt was saying, was that we've been using Pebble and Wagner's for so long, where it's on complacency, where we need to get up with technology and get, save more
Right.
money, because they are charging basically for anything we ask them to do. And then with OSBA, they're cheaper, and then they do a lot of work, they would do a lot for us, correct?
And a number of districts
Then-
statewide use it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
and that's what I would really like to know, some of the districts that use it, but that, we can do that afterwards, that's not a
Okay.
problem.
Mhm.
And I really would.
And I'm pretty sure we
because,
can reach out to them.
We can reach out to-
Yeah, cause
A lot of the first swing use.
A lot of the first unions will always
Exactly.
be there.
They use OSBA.
okay,
So
And
what
so-
happens is, let me say this, I go to a superintendent's meeting and an issue comes up and policy needs to be created. I'll walk in there waiting on Pepper and Wagner where they already got a policy that they didn't pull it online because it was already created and they're talking about the policy that they're all getting ready to implement, but we're waiting on somebody else to look at the same source and then interpret it for us. To be honest, that's what it's middleman in us. And I don't know if we can afford that for somebody to benefit off of creating policies that are already created. Because OSBA and Neola, they create policies, they're legally binding policies that are according to Ohio Revised Code.
so, just, I've already reiterated, we don't have to buy that daggone manual, because that's what I kept looking at,
Right.
so wait a minute, that's
No.
not any cheaper, in essence.
Mhm, mhm.
And, we do not have to have this consultant, we can just go online, and there are several other, okay.
Tamara?
I just wanted to make
Yeah, I
sure
can
that
get you a
I
list of this.
understand what you are sharing with me. Okay.
And then the question would become, one or two board members would need to be identified to help work through this process. So,
Sure,
so that would be the only other thing we would need if this is something the board wants to do.
sure. Ms. Andrews, her committee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we have them for, we trust each other, okay, to go through,
Yes.
alright? So, what do we need to do now? Do we,
Vote.
We need to vote.
vote?
So I'm gonna have to call you Dr. Rice,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson.
Yes.
Oh, you have to call everybody now,
Mhm.
something happened?
Ms. Fountain.
Yes.
Yes. Give me 2 seconds. And Ms. Sanders.
Yes.
No.
Okay, voting is closed. And the motion passes.
Thank you very much, we appreciate it. As far as I can see, and I don't have that, but is there anything else that we are missing thus?
Superintendent's recommendation.
Okay,
Okay, so we're jumping in there.
Last thing that we
Okay.
did not do. May I?
yes, please.
Madam President, I have one appointment for board review. I'm asking for a motion to approve the appointments of the superintendent. There's only one there for a parent mentor.
Madam President, I make a motion that we accept resolution A on the recommendation of the superintendent per Dr. Pettigrew.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Without calling any names, of course. He has, Mr. Robinson has made the motion.
I second.
Okay, Mrs. Sanders has second. Are,
Vote,
are there any questions or comments regarding the motion? Hearing no questions or, comments, I do have one. Is that a different position than
No,
she is?
same position,
Oh, that's what I
Same position.
thought. That's what I thought.
same position every year, grant funding.
Okay, now I see why, okay.
Mhm.
Mike, are there any additional questions? Hearing no other additional questions, call for the vote.
online voting is open?
Well, you gonna keep
Thank you.
changing now, you getting us confused.
Know that. Dr. Rice,
Yes.
online voting is closed and the motion passes.
Okay, motion passes. Any additional things on the agenda that we need to know about?
Madam President, I'm also asking for a motion to approve resignations and retirements. We only have one resignation, this evening.
Madam
Oh, my
President,
goodness.
I make a motion that we accept resolution B, resignation and retirements per Dr. Pettigrew.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson, for making the motion. Is there a second? Okay, yes, we have a second to the motion, Mrs. Sanders. Are there any questions or comments regarding the motion? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Online voting is open. Dr. Rice,
Yes.
online voting is now closed and the motion passes.
Thank you. Madam President, my final recommendation this evening is to request a motion to approve professional leave. There's a number of dates and events that staff members are going to get training. And I'm asking for a motion to approve that professional work.
Madam President, I make a motion that we accept resolution C, professional leave per Dr. Pettigrew.
I second.
It's been properly moved in second that we accept the professional leaves that as delineated by our minutes and by Dr. Pettigrew. Are there any questions, comments? Hearing none, call for the vote.
Online voting is open. Dr. Rice,
Yes.
online voting is closed and the motion passes.
As you know, I always give each board member an opportunity at the very conclusion of our business to make any kind of comments that they would like to make regarding the day. I'll begin to my right. Mr. Robinson, you have any comments?
No, I do not.
Thank you. Mrs. Sanders, you have any comments?
Yeah, I'm happy about the turnout with the 3 stars, and I'm glad the state is happy now. Yeah, I didn't speak on it earlier, but good meeting. I think it was very well needed, you know, because I didn't understand a lot of things going on with MGT.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how, what's her name? The lady that does the professional development with us.
Oh, yes,
Steve's
I,
right.
uh-huh,
He's right. Word in the streets.
yes,
You know, you hear. But,
yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy about the outcome with MGT.
Ms. Fountain?
I have nothing else.
Okay, I just have, 2 things, I think. I went to the last, city council meeting in, for Eddie's Cleveland,
Mhm.
and, now I'm usually, as you know, I'm usually a very pleasant person. But when you get my dandruff up, we had a problem, the community school, the new one that was there,
The T2I?
T-Fall or something like that.
Yeah.
They were there, and trying to get support from the East Cleveland City Council and the East Cleveland mayor as well. And she had a beautiful presentation regarding her school. And I made sure that when I shared my comments with it, that we're really not interested in another a charter school moving into the East Cleveland area. And that our school now has 3 stars, and so therefore with her school building being put on a death plot because it has some kind of stuff there that's not healthy for you. The EPA really needs to go and look at the place again. So I made sure that those comments were out in East Cleveland City Council. So, but I didn't get too bad. I really didn't. What I left out, they gave me that little hand on it because they were so pleased that East Cleveland Schools has 3 stars and that we are now offer competition. I also was at Lutheran East High School Monday. I was there Monday and then the City Council Tuesday. Monday I was at Lutheran East and I talked with Lutheran East because Lutheran East has a lot of East Cleveland students. I let them know that we now have a 3 and they were doing their strategic plan. I was working with them with that strategic plan. And I shared when they were doing threats, I said East Cleveland is now definitely a threat to Lutheran East because of the 3 stars. So that was my work for Monday and Tuesday. I also want to say that I want to thank Dr. Pettigrew and Mr. Larry Ellis because this is a critical voting season and this is national voter registration week or whatever. And there's like 3 other organizations that want to team up with the East Cleveland League of Women Voters. And Mr. Ellis has kindly said that we could come in there tomorrow, which is Tuesday. So we will be there with 3 other organizations. Now I want you to know we've been going over here for the past 5 or 6 years going to Shaw, but all of a sudden we get 3 stars and everybody want to join with us to come in and help us to register our Shaw students. So that's a feather in our cap. So I'm very, very thankful, and I know he always does such a great job of hosting the league, but it's not just the league, it's the league and 2 other organizations coming in tomorrow. Those are the only announcements that I have, and that's all that, other than the fact that I thank each one of you board members and each one of you that are here for coming to the meeting. Very appreciative, and if we have no other information, I call for a motion.
One comment.
Okay, yes.
The Fordham Institute, we know what that is.
You know I know Fordham.
Gadfly Bites, this is I guess a podcast they do. Very, very, they have a lot to say about public education in Ohio, charter schools. They've said a lot about academic distress. This says, they've been keeping close tabs on East Cleveland City Schools, one of the worst performing districts in the state and one of still subject to the ADC Commission nominally. But it says because things appear to be looking up for that district and the information that they have on how they move from 2 to 3 stars. So it's everywhere. I don't want to talk about what other people are saying, but it's all over that something is happening in this school that's not happening everywhere else. School district, yeah, that's not happening somewhere else. So I wanted to make that comment. That's 5 news outlets in a week that have responded positively to our story. The Board of Education, we cannot do this without you. Dr. Rice, let me say personally, you hold me accountable academically. And me and you go round and round, but the result is good.
Okay, but what did I say, January the 27th, a year and a half ago in your office?
Yes, I know.
Do you remember what I said?
And where are we now?
All right.
And
I knew you could, and didn't know what I said?
and I also want to say something to you, Sheree. I love the way you hold us accountable financially. do not let us just do things without that critical eye. So I appreciate that. I wanted to say that to you also.
I'm just trying to use my account 3 times and see if I can use it a little bit.
But it helps us and it makes us produce a better product. So
Absolutely.
I wanna thank you for what you contribute to this board.
Absolutely.
Mary Sanders, what you contribute to this board, and now you get to be our policy guru and figure all those things out. And then, and Mr. Robinson, you with the culture and with the heritage and with the making sure we're always thinking about the alumni and the community, we thank you for that too. I just wanted to say that to the board members, I appreciate y'all in this moment as we're looking at this 3. Yes, it's the staff, but it is also you. And it could not have happened without some of the decisions you made at this
You got that right. Thank you for your
I just
leadership
wanna
as well.
say,
Yeah, and for you, and you sticking to it because you know, like you said, I put your feet to the fire.
You did.
I know, and,
We can have it.
woo, yeah, because, you know, it's if somebody else's children were coming here,
Absolutely.
fine. But you got my blood walking up around here, so
let's
yeah,
do
yeah.
it.
Gotta go straight. Anyway,
I just wanna say, I gotta go study
Okay,
and thank everybody for a positive meeting today. I'm actually leaving here with a smile on my face.
Oh.
all right,
Wonderful.
fantastic.
But do
Thank
we
you.
have executive session?
No,
no, I think we only got one thing left to adjourn.
that's it, and he's already made the motion to adjourn.
Oh,
Can I second?
you need, we gotta
Yeah,
go
we're
in
having a
first.
executive session. Oh, but Dr. Rice, can we set the next date for the meeting, the next meeting date?
It's already.
It's
she
already
already-
November, October
Oh, I
27th.
don't see it, okay.
Yeah, she already has that.
Okay.
Is there
no
any
problem.
action out of the executive session, or is it information? Paul,
It's information,
information,
won't be
it's
action.
information only.
And you got to do that, okay? All right, would you please rescind your motion for adjourn?
Sorry.
Was it long?
I never made it.
Yeah, but anyway, that's okay, okay.
Tom, you turn that fan
If we can, have a motion for an executive session, let me,
Was it, you got the language?
I got it somewhere around here, hold on. Hold on. I know I saw it. Wait,
Okay.
oh,